Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, this is Tiff here from the Tiffany Mika podcast and welcome to today's episode. What I want to share with you today is actually an interview that I just did recently with the Red Hot Truth talk show. And what we do is we just talk about, really to let go of the regrets that you've had. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you may have heard me talking about some of the regrets that I had growing up and as a sports person. And we talk about that and how I was able to do that. We talk about sport, we talk about tennis, we talk about golf, we talk about how to deal with the regret and then move forward and what you need to do. And plus, we talk about my new book, Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. So the book is now out. If you go to Tiffany Mika.com/focus. You can actually purchase the book directly from me, and if you'd like me to sign it for you, I'd love to do that for you as well. Just let me know. And don't go anywhere. Just keep doing what you're doing. The audio may not be that great with the interview. You may find that it sounds a bit funny. I'll let that stuff go. Okay, so what I want you to do is dream big, believe in you, go. Okay, so what I want you to do is dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, and enjoy the interview. About, my God, I gave up on me, and I didn't think I was good enough.
Well, Tiff, welcome to the Red Hot Truth. It is so great to have you here. You know, when I spoke to you on the phone beforehand, and you shared with me that there was a moment that you realised you had been living 25 years with regrets. And I thought, wow, that is a significant time to be living with regrets. Yeah. Tell me about that story.
I was thinking about my nieces. Evie she's now 12, but she was 8 at the time, and Lillian was 4. And I was thinking about them, and I was thinking about how they had this opportunity to have a wonderful life, and I was thinking about how I'd love them to grow up to be confident, really believe in themselves, go after their dreams because I love them so much. And I was thinking about that, and I thought I don't want them to grow up with hang-ups, and I don't want them to grow up not thinking that they're good enough and not thinking that, that they could believe in themselves enough to really go after what they wanted in life and to never let anything hold them back. And what I found was when I was thinking about that in that moment, I realised that I had done that to me. So from the age of 20, when I gave up on my tennis career, I looked at it that I gave up on me. And then, and I'm going to get emotional in a second, but 25 years later, in that moment, I was thinking about, my God, I gave up on me. And I didn't think I was good enough. Yeah. And I went through that. So I spent probably the next 2 hours sobbing like uncontrollably.
Do you need a tissue?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Because I don't have one handy.
I didn't think it was going to bring up so much emotion.
And that's great that it brings up emotion because it's so true to you.
Yeah.
Right? That's wonderful. Yeah.
And my husband, we call him Coxie, he was like, I've got to fix you, I've got to help you, stop crying, what can I do? And I said, just let me cry. I said, I've been holding on to this for 25 years. And I didn't realise until that moment when I was thinking about my beautiful girls that I love so much. Yeah.
She loves you a lot.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And so what I found really fascinating when I was reading the form that you sent back to me was that you left school and you decided to follow a tennis career.
Yes.
And you went to a tennis academy and that didn't quite work out the way you thought it would.
Yeah.
And from the age of 20 when you decided not to pursue that anymore, you were so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, but that's such a young age to have such a fixed idea of who you want to be.
Yes.
Where did that come from, do you think?
Well, I remember when we moved to Grafton when I was 6.5, 7. Well, I had my first tennis camp, and I don't know what other people are like, but as soon as I stepped onto the tennis court, because Mum said I used to run around the house with a tennis ball and racket and so on, but when I stepped onto the court, I really felt at home, like I felt like I belonged. And from that moment on, that was it. I just knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life was just be a tennis player. That was it. That was everything to me. I lived and breathed it, didn't I, Mum? It was everything to me.
Yeah, and so tell me, what wasn't working for you in the tennis, or what made you decide to give up?
When I finished school, I went to the tennis academy, and I found that I was really struggling with competing. I was really struggling with that. I was losing every time I got out on the court, and I worked harder than everybody, because they used to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do something else. Okay, so I'd go out and train harder. But what I found that every time I competed, I was losing. And when I went overseas, I was just losing every first round all the time. And I was like, I just don't know what's going on, because I'm working so hard.
You know, are you doing everything that people are telling you to do?
I was doing all the training. I'd train harder than anyone.
Yeah.
And I'd get out there and grind it out and do everything that I possibly could.
Yeah.
But nothing was changing, and that was
so frustrating.
That was hugely frustrating for me, hugely, because I just didn't know what to do. I was in Germany. I rang Mum. I remember I stood in a phone box. Okay, Mum.
What's that?
Before mobile phones. And I said, okay, I've decided to come home. I'll go to university, because the big thing for her, with especially me and my sister, was to go to uni, which I wasn't interested in. But I said, okay, I'll go to uni, and I'll go and get a real job, because Dad and I used to have this running thing where he always wanted me to get a real job. I've never had a real job, whatever that is. But
what is a real job, really?
Yeah. So his idea was, that 9 to 5 thing,
yes,
whereas I've never.
So your dream of being a tennis player has ended, and not only that, you were there living someone else's, or trying to fit into someone else's idea.
I was trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And all I saw myself was a failed tennis player.
Yeah.
And I saw myself as that for 25 years, as a failed tennis player.
And how did that translate in your life for you? Like, did you have a negative self-talk? Did you lack confidence? Did that stop you from doing things? Because I know lots of young women out there feel like failures.
Yeah.
At a young age, because from a young age they're really told to compare themselves to X, Y, and Z. You go through school and you're taught to compete against the next person. The best person gets the A, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, and I really want them to hear how that was for you, so they can look at it and go, actually, I get that.
So I do remember, there's things I remember. So I've seen photos of myself through that time, especially through my 20s, early 30s. I see this incredibly sad young woman. And at the time I didn't know that I was sad. I just went, okay, well, I've just got to figure out what I've got to do. But when I look back now and photos that I've seen, I'm like, oh my God, that looks... Poor girl. My poor girl. I feel so sorry for her. And I remember sitting in the train, and I had just come back to Sydney, and I was looking out the window, and I saw a tennis centre. and it just tore me up inside. I couldn't bear to look at the tennis court.
Wow,
I just had to turn away.
strong.
It was just absolutely devastating for me. So trying to figure it out was, I went to uni, did a sports degree, so I got a human movement studies degree, and I was like, okay, well, what will I do? I don't know. I'll teach tennis, I guess, because that's what I know. But it wasn't a passion that I wanted to teach because I still looked at myself as a failure. And I also started a sports skills business, and I was successful in the tennis coaching. I was successful with a sporty kids business that I had. I had a sports skills business for young kids to help them with their sport, and did that really well. But it wasn't fulfilling me inside, and I felt very empty.
Because success without fulfillment is almost nothing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And because I saw myself as a failure, and because I saw myself at 20 years of age and I gave up on my dream, and I considered really I gave up on me, then it was like, okay, well, I don't know what I'll do. I'll just stumble along and figure stuff out along the way. And that was I pretty much fell into things. And I was doing a course earlier in the year, and they were talking about when you achieve goals and stuff. And I was like, well, I haven't really achieved a goal. If I really look at it, the goal that I really wanted to achieve, I didn't achieve it. So they were like, oh, no, but you've done this and you've done that. And I'm like, yeah, but I just fell into that. Yeah. That wasn't really what I wanted to do. Yeah.
That's so incredible. So when you look at yourself now compared to them,
yes,
what's the difference?
I worked on me.
So what's different inside of you?
Very comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, and before you weren't?
Not at all.
And so
not at all.
How did that feel? How did that stop you?
I just felt like I never fitted in because I always felt differently towards things. I always thought about things differently, and I loved sport, and a lot of the people that I grew up with were not heavily into sport like I was or anything. So I felt like it was a real struggle to fit in, and because I didn't think that I was good enough because I had all this stuff going on in my head, again, I felt like I didn't fit in either, because I was too caught up in my head, so I didn't see the big picture. All I saw was this, and I couldn't get out of that. But I didn't know that was the problem. That was the thing. I didn't know that was the problem until later on.
And I think, especially also for young women now, is sometimes you don't have the emotional intelligence, right? You don't know how to process those emotions. Yeah. You don't know what the right questions are.
No.
And, and where do you even go and find answers?
Yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly.
But then you said you started golfing.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that, because that's when you started going, hang on.
Yeah.
Tell me about the golfing experience.
Yeah, so, 14 years later, after my torment about tennis and all that kind of thing, I discovered golf, and Mum bought me some golf lessons for Christmas.
Mum's very supportive. Yeah. What's Dad doing? He wants you to get the real job.
Yeah, the real job. But one of Dad's friends actually said to me, look, because my parents had a real estate agency, and he said it'd be a really good idea if you would go and learn to play golf, because he said it'd be good for networking and all of that. And I actually thought, I'm not really keen on learning golf, but I think I'll go and do that. And I actually didn't really go to learn golf. I actually went to go and meet people because I became so insular. I just didn't want to, because I actually moved back with my parents. I was in some terrible relationships, all for the wrong reasons because of how I felt about me.
Oh, exactly, right. And you attract the like people.
That's
totally,
right. And so we went through this transitional period, 33, moving back with Mum and Dad. Oh, great. They're all
I'm sure they were excited.
All their friends are saying, you should be married and you should be having kids. And I'm like, there must be something wrong with me, all of this sort of stuff.
Oh, totally.
And so learned to go and play golf to go and meet people, to get myself out of how I was feeling.
As you say, you can't see past the blackness.
No.
Right.
No.
And so you went to tell me what happened when you started playing golf.
My God, I thought it would be really easy.
It's not right, because I have tried to hit a golf ball and I couldn't do it.
No, it's not easy. I thought, how
How high can it be?
I've played every sport there is, right? And done pretty well at it. Tennis, you know, the ball's moving and, you know, you've got to run to the ball and so on.
Well, this one's still.
This one's still. It's just all you got to do is swing down and hit it. Yeah, very interesting.
What was the lesson then, to not have the expectation?
Not to have the expectation and to start as a beginner. Have a beginner's mindset. What social media does is just show, you know, like a glamour photo of somewhere you've been, a holiday. I mean, I'm the same. I share wherever I've been and it looks fantastic. You're like, oh, you're living the life. But they don't see what's behind the scenes. They don't see that you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're training your butt off at the gym and then you're going to work and then, you know, all these things that I've been doing is building this, you know, this new business that I want to build. They don't see that I'm, you know, awake from 4 o'clock in the morning till 8:30 at night, you know, and Ian's telling me to get off the laptop, and have a break, you know, doing all of the hard work to get something, you know, going. Yeah, for sure.
And I think we blame social media for too much. You know, everything's social media's fault. But really, isn't it up to us, even as an older generation, to teach our younger generation how to grow up?
Yeah, exactly right. Because we don't come with a handbook.
No.
Do we? We've got to figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Right? And so it makes it very difficult because they don't know what to do because no one's teaching them. Like I started a podcast show last year.
Yes, I've listened to some of the episodes.
And it's, you know, the messaging is getting so much better in it, but it's I want to show them that, hey, look, you know what, if you want this dream, especially because at the moment I'm wanting to help young sportswomen, you know, if you want this dream, then there's all these things that you're going to have to do, and these are the steps that you've got to take. And I'm doing that because I wish that was given to me. I wish I had someone out there that said that, you know, that was an athlete and said, look, Tiff, you've got to do this, this, this and this, and you've got to work on this, this, this and this, and you've got to analyse your game this, this, this way, and you've got to, you know, all of those kinds of things that you need to be doing. I wish someone had helped me do that because I would have become the tennis player I really wanted to become.
So tell me what other lessons did you learn during golf?
Oh, gee whiz, there's so many things. I learned so much about me. This is where everything started to change because when I took up golf, I was like, oh, yes, I've got this chance to be this athlete again.
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah. I was like, okay, tennis didn't happen for me. I've been given a second chance and I'm not going to stuff this one up. You know, so the training aspect didn't floor me at all. It was like, okay, I've got to do what I've got to do. If I've got to do the 12-hour days and do that, that's what I did, you know, when I had the time. Because I had a tennis coaching business still and my sports skills business. So I just worked everything around that. So and also, you know, I did work with mum and dad as well. So we worked around that. So I spent my life down at the golf course. So rather than being a kid at the tennis courts like I used to be, I became an adult at the golf course.
Okay.
All the time. Big kid.
Picking up sexy men.
Yeah. That came later.
Oh, later?
Yeah. And then, but I didn't want, and I always consider it my tennis demons. I didn't want my tennis demons to come back and haunt me in golf because I could see them coming up.
Oh, so you could see them.
I was aware of it.
This time you were aware of it.
I was aware of it, yeah, much more aware. So I was like, okay, we've got to do something about this. So I started reading a book. I don't know if you read this one. It's quite a famous one. Think and Grow Rich. Yes,
I know well.
It was my first book. High five. Yes. Yeah.
Now, before you continue, my favourite part of that book is the introduction, where he says there's a secret in this introduction, and if you can find the secret, then you don't have to read the rest of the book. Did you read
I don't remember that.
Do you know what the secret is?
No, what was it?
The secret is your thoughts create your reality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what that whole book is about, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So tell me more about it.
Yeah, so I started reading that and I thought, oh gosh, can we do this sort of thing? This is great.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, it blew my mind.
So tell me, because for the audience who haven't read it, tell us what that book talks about.
It really talks about how to get your thought process in place. right, and what you need to be thinking about. So rather than really thinking in simple terms, rather than thinking negatively, it's telling you how to push yourself forward and go after what you want and what kind of thoughts that you actually need to be putting into your head versus obviously the negative ones.
And because he went and he studied the richest men at the time, because it was written in a very, very early years, the richest man of the times. And that's constantly what the result was. They thought themselves rich in this case, but they aligned their thoughts with what they wanted, and therefore the words followed and the behaviour followed, right? Yeah,
definitely. So I thought, this is really good stuff. Great that I've been exposed to this. So I went looking for answers of, okay, how can I improve myself? And more about was, how can I not let these tennis demons come back and haunt me? What do I need to do that? So I went and did a course, personal development course, and what I discovered was a 3-day really intensive course, and it really stripped back the layers of all these things that I was holding on to. So I discovered a lot of things that I was holding on to as a kid growing up, and I was like, this is much deeper than golf. I'm learning more about me. That's weird, because all I wanted to do was learn how to shift my thinking into playing into that zone, that perfect zone, everything flows.
The winner's mindset.
Yeah, and just everything just flows. Like, you don't have to think about it, it all just happens. You don't have to try too hard because it's just there in your hands. It's just an amazing feeling. And I thought, I just want to learn how to do that, all the time. And so what ended up happening was I discovered about me, and I was like, okay, this
Were you surprised what you found?
Yeah. I didn't realise all the thoughts that I had actually was holding on to were the things that were actually holding me back from moving forward. And it surprises me that I was successful as a tennis coach and successful in a sports skills business, successful as a golf coach, because of the
lashings
I used to give to myself.
And that's not unusual, there's a lot of very successful people out there, but they're not fulfilled. They have such inner turmoil, which once again starts bringing up the question of what is success really, right?
It does.
Because is success having a business, money, a car, or is success being able to wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and go, you know what, you're okay?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what it is. It's looking at yourself in the mirror and going, I'm pretty
I thought I was the only one who did that. Like, hey, baby,
come back to my place.
I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so
took a long time to get there, though.
It does take, and I love that, because then it wasn't overnight, right? So it wasn't an overnight transformation, which once again I think in the personal development space is promoted as follow your passion and do the seminar, and voila, you're amazing. So tell me, the process that sort of went through.
Learning about.
So from the seminar, what did you go on doing?
Well, when the more I played golf, the more I discovered all these things that were going on. So I always say to people, if you really want to know someone, go and play golf with them. Because you really discover who they are, because all their vulnerabilities will come up. I can usually tell what a person's like by their golf swing, the speed of their golf swing, and how they operate, when they're walking around on the golf course.
Damn it, we should have brought a golf ball down the swing. It's a bit dangerous.
Just simple things, you can see the impatience coming up in people and all that kind of stuff. And golf you can't be impatient with. So a lot of
that's why I don't play it.
I think it's, and I found, for me, learning golf was very therapeutic, because it helped me focus on something else other than me. So I found that quite good. And
I want to stop you there. You just said it helped me focus on something else other than me.
Yes.
And I feel that when we get in that depressive, let me scrap that word, where we come into that low space.
Sad.
The focus is so on self, so on ego, and it's relentless. It's a relentless focus on self, and then often coming out of that, as you say, doing something or even being of service, like going out, helping someone else, helps you break out of yourself because you really are trapped within.
Oh, big time.
Right?
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think it is. It's almost a very victim-like, egotistical behaviour. It doesn't, you wouldn't say so, but it is. It's very victim, woe is me, victim behaviour, right? Poor little man, right?
Yeah.
How important do you think it is not to identify with a goal? So what I mean by that is so often we want to reach a dream and then we reach it and we go,
oh, is that it? It's like Christmas.
Right?
Yeah. It's like looking after Christmas.
And then it's just the next thing. It's just looking externally. Once again, it's looking externally for fulfillment, right? Only when I achieve this goal will I feel fulfilled.
Yes.
But how important is it to feel fulfilled from the inside?
Incredibly important.
How do we do that?
Well, again, it's a journey, isn't it? It's the things that you're going to be doing each day to help you get to where you want to go.
What do you do to connect with yourself internally?
I meditate. I visualise. I write out I set it. I set goals for the day of what I want to accomplish, and it's not like, I've got to earn this amount of money and I've got to do this, this and this. It might be, I want my back to be pain-free today. Something simple like that. I want to go out and enjoy teaching golf today. Or I want to go out and have fun with my nieces, whatever we do today.
Yeah.
Or, I'm looking at the things that bring me joy.
Yes.
And I think that's where we get too lost, is that we're so focused on, I've got to get that goal, and we lose sight of, well, why are we here? We're here to enjoy our life and to be comfortable in our own skin. And
the interesting thing is I follow someone called Sadhguru, and he talks about joy being the prerequisite to life. So he's saying we have to be internally joyful, and only once we've reached that internal bliss can we then think about anything else.
Yeah.
Because otherwise our happiness is always at stake.
That's right.
And we won't do the things that need to be done.
That's exactly
so
right.
If it's constantly attached to external things, then we will never do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But if we can wake up every morning and know, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens, it doesn't matter what someone says, I'm okay.
Exactly.
And meditation's amazing for that.
Meditation's really, it's really good. It just gets you, I like meditation more because it helps me stay in the moment. So it helps me, and again, I use it from a sports point of view because it's all about learning how to focus, but you've got to enjoy what you're doing. Like I see the older women who play golf and they're like, I've got to get rid of this ball and I've got to do this with that. Why don't you enjoy the shot? You're here to enjoy the game.
Yes.
Like, why don't you come out and oh, God, that felt like a great shot. Whereas they'll hit a shot, which I think's pretty amazing for them, and they'll look at me, but it went in the bunker. And it's like a sand pit.
Yeah, I know where the bunker is.
Some people
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, that's right. Big sand pit, we say, hey. And they go, but it went in the bunker. And I said, yeah, but what an awesome shot you played. Oh, yeah, but, but it's gone in the bunker and now I've got to do this. I thought, no. You hit the ball the best you've ever hit it. Enjoy that.
And it's so true. It's celebrating the little wins.
It is. Because the little wins bring the big wins.
The little wins bring the big wins. That's so true. And I also feel we don't play enough anymore.
No.
We don't play enough anymore. Everything's so serious. Like getting a real job, right? You grow, and I'm just picking on that. You're absolutely right there. Now, you wrote this amazing book.
Yes.
Called Focus. Tell me about the book.
Really, the book is actually lessons learned from sport. If you don't believe in you, then you're not going to get to where you want to go. So I heavily talk about belief in the book because, like a sports person, if you don't believe that you're going to be a professional tennis player, like I didn't, then you won't. I wasn't, that kind of thing. So, and I'd pose a lot of, it's more like a workbook as well. Like I'd pose a lot of questions in the book and get you to really think about what it is that you want and then how you're going to get there and how you're going to solve these problems.
I love the word focus.
Yes.
I think, when you grow up, a lot of that happened to you, but I was always told to concentrate. Concentrate.
All the time.
But no one ever taught me, but no one ever taught me how to concentrate.
Exactly.
No one ever shows me, this is when you need to focus, be present, cut out all distractions. And that's the same with focus.
Yes, that's right.
Focus.
Yes.
I don't know how to focus.
Yeah.
And I feel focus is so essential to come inside for everything in life. Because when you can focus, you can observe. And when you observe, you can actually see what's really going on.
Yeah, you can.
For yourself and internally and externally. And I heard an interview with a woman and she said, meditation makes you dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you can focus the mind.
That's right.
And I was like, that's so true.
It is true. And I really wrote the book for my two nieces. That was really the motivation behind. I wanted to give them a blueprint because we don't have a handbook. There's something to help them along their journey in their life as they're becoming, young women.
Who took the photo?
Who took? I don't know. It's just
it's not like you in disguise. This is my younger self.
Yeah, that's what I was like when I was previous life.
I was just wondering if there was someone.
Yeah, no one specific, but I really like the eyes. And she's athletic.
She's got determination,
exactly right.
And I do really like sport because I think sport teaches you so many lessons, so many, and also it teaches you camaraderie and focus. It teaches you so many beautiful lessons, and I think it's a beautiful way to help younger people deal with a lot of that. Because your emotions go crazy anyway, right? To deal with a lot of that stuff. I really want to acknowledge you for being so open and honest about living with regret for 25 years. Because that's not an easy thing to do. You could easily be shameful about that, and but you're saying, hey, this is it.
Yeah.
I literally wasted 25 years almost of my happiness. If I'm putting words in your mouth, just stop me. I could be doing that. No. And going, I want to take that experience and I want to share the lessons of that, not the anguish of it, but the lessons of it. And I think that takes great courage, and I really want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
No,
I feel like I should be high-fiving it. This is like a sport thing, right? I should be wearing something sporty. What am I wearing this for? Look, tell us, first of all, where can our audience get hold of you?
Well, if you come to my website, it's probably the best thing, Tiffany, TIFFANY -Mika, MIKA.com.
And is there a place there where they can sign up for a newsletter or something?
Yeah, and they can send me emails or give me a call or whatever. It's got all my information, contact details and everything on there.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Can I keep this book?
I'll have to get you a copy.
I can't keep this book. But
I'll definitely get you a copy of it.
Yeah, because I would love to give this away to my
absolutely.
audience members.
Yeah, for sure.
As a gift, and so they can, when they watch this interview and share it, that then they can grab it as well, right? And share it with their friends, right?
Absolutely.
So not this copy, but another one.
Yeah, no, that's the first copy. It's just needs a couple little tweaks. Yeah. It's the original copy, so it just needs a couple little tweaks.
Tweaks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I won't say what the tweaks are, but this needs a couple.
Never mind. We won't know any better.
Yeah.
So my favourite question is, what is your red hot truth and how are you living it?
Red hot truth, be comfortable in your own skin is, I like to always say at the end of everything that I do is dream big, believe in you and go after your dreams.
Yeah. And how are you doing that?
Read the book.
Read the book. Stop giving all the secrets away. It's in the book.
It's all in the book.
But I just want to thank you again for sharing a wonderful story with us, for writing this amazing book for young women, and just making a workbook too, and for having the courage to follow your dreams now and not care what anyone else thinks, because you just know it's right.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you haven't yet downloaded the #1 deadly mistake athletes make sure you go to tiffany-mika.com and download the #1 deadly mistake athletes make. Share with me what you like best about what you heard in the comments section wherever you hear this episode. Share with your friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, and please leave a 5-star review wherever you hear these episodes. I would really appreciate it. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Have an absolutely awesome day.